and angel fly within my life, beside me in all I do.
Hi everyone, and welcome to your weekly angel reading for July 27th through to the 2nd of August. It's a big week out there, I believe. Astrologically, I've heard that there's 6 of our planets in retrograde the last few days of July, and then the 31st is also a full moon. So the planets are sure doing their thing this week, and so I wanted to work with the angel tarot cards to see what they have to say and how they can support us through this big time. It's apparently a really great time to go inward because the retrograde period is all about that. You've heard me say about Mercury retrograde being a time to go inward. Well, if many of the planets are going retrograde, that would definitely suggest that it's a time to look at our old beliefs. It's a time to kind of energetically purge the old. And it can often mean that we feel tired or we feel a little bit like all of our stuff is coming up. But that's good. It's good to reflect on that and then to be able to feel like we can move forward into a new space. So don't be afraid of that this week, but let's see what the angels have to say that will help us through this time. Okay, so here's the first card for Monday and Tuesday. I'm laughing. 6 of Water, memories from your history or childhood, issues regarding children, romanticizing the past. So it's really just what we said. Our past are going to perhaps be a little bit more obvious. It might be a time where you reflect on what has happened to you or for you or not happened for you, and just to remember that life is on our side, that God and the angels are on our side, that life happens, but we all have stories, we all have wounds, we all have places in us that feel sad and angry, or things in our childhoods where we didn't feel quite as accepted or loved or supported as we'd like to be. And because of that history, because of when we're children, we don't understand the things that we do as adults. When we're often reacting and being in a painful place, it can be often from our inner child, because our inner child is asking us to pay attention. It's the part of us that still feels that ouch. And so don't be afraid to ask him or her, your inner child, what they want you to know right now, or to spend some time with them to really connect with that deeper part of you, perhaps for the purpose of healing. Now, of course, if you are finding yourself extra tender, don't be afraid to ask for help. This has been a big theme because we've been talking about trust and faith and things feeling wobbly the last few weeks. Again, as I've said before, don't be afraid to ask for help if that's really happening for you. But you may also find as a parent, because we're all connected, of course, that your issues with your own children come up. Just a reminder to really take care of yourselves, take care of each other, to nurture yourself as you would a child or your own children, and to really allow yourself to be honest about what's going on rather than romanticizing it or putting blame. So there's the two ends of the spectrum. Sometimes I think we can either really go, oh wow, that was so wonderful, especially if it's to do with a person, right, or a relationship. Oh wow, it's so wonderful. Or ow, that really hurt me. So just and I'm victim. So just make sure that you can be honest and real and honor your emotions without having to go from one extreme to the other. Sometimes we do that, but don't stay stuck in it. Just allow your emotions to come forward and just view them almost as if you are giving yourself a perspective which doesn't allow you to feel like anyone is right or wrong. It just is part of your experience. It's just what happened, and so you can just view it with less judgment sometimes when there's hindsight there, can't you? So just pay attention to anything that arises for you in the next couple of days around your past. Okay, here we go for Wednesday and Thursday, Unity. This is a beautiful card. Archangel Sandalphon, as many of you will know from my other readings, is the angel of music, and so I love him for that reason. But the card says traditional viewpoints or methods, spiritual organizations, or seek out mentors and like-minded friends. So again, we're talking about perhaps doing some reflecting and, looking at our stuff, but that doesn't mean that we have to do it all on our own. Sometimes really, deciding to join a group or to spend time with people that really get you is just as healing, right? Because we all want to feel that sense of love and support, particularly if we're talking about our inner child. So do that if you feel called to do that. It's interesting that this card comes up because of the fact that it says traditional viewpoints or methods. It can also be a time where we really want to let go of anything that might be old and limiting as far as our beliefs around our lives, especially the personal lives as we were talking about, but also, maybe our beliefs around our own spirituality. Perhaps we have some wounds about, what we were supposed to believe and what we can't believe, and even guilt and shame. I've noticed actually there's a lot of that going around, that people are really feeling that all come up right now. So if you feel guilty or shameful about anything, please know that God and the angels love you unconditionally, and that any religion or any teachings or anyone in your life that's ever made you feel guilty and shameful, that is their stuff. That is not God and the angels. That is not love. They love you unconditionally. So please ask Sandalphon and also all of your angels to help you to let go of guilt and shame and unforgiveness. Forgiveness, again, that can be a big one, especially if we're talking about our own spirituality, because sometimes we feel like, oh, I need to ask God and the angels forgiveness. Maybe so, but really, forgiveness is really about us forgiving ourselves, because as I said, God and the angels really see us as children, and that in that way, there's nothing to forgive. So if you have any forgiveness work to do about letting go of any old pain, it's usually about you feeling better. It's nothing to do with them. So allow yourself to go into that place where you can just know that you're doing the best that you can, that this is a time when you can connect with other people who resonate with your beliefs. And perhaps it's a good time to question what you believe. It's a good thing. Sometimes these times that we've dealt with so many trust issues the last few weeks, sometimes when we really question our faith, can be very unsettling. But actually, as we go through it, particularly as we go through the end of this week, it can actually give us an even deeper sense of faith when we've come through the other side, because we start to realize what resonates with us and what we can let go of. Okay, so that's all a good thing. And just notice all the beautiful symbols of different religions here in these bubbles, and how I so truly believe that it's all love. It doesn't really matter whether you follow a religion or not. What matters is what makes you feel good, what makes you feel supported, because that really, in truth, is what counts. We're all talking to the same thing, really. Okay, here we go. Oh, it's interesting. Again, this really follows on the Hermit, Archangel Raziel. This is another major arcana card, this time connected to Raziel. Spend time in quiet meditation, spiritual teaching, and self-discovery. So most of you would have heard me talk about Raziel from a point of manifesting, of the magical wizard angel that he is. But because of that, he's a beautiful spiritual teacher. He will help us to understand our own spirituality, just as we were talking about. And, again, this is a reminder that we can also use this time to be quiet and reflective. I also just really noticed that there's all these planets in the background. So that's pretty good confirmation. So please ask him to help you through this time. Sandalphon and Raziel. Raziel is a beautiful angel, I believe, because he really does help us also to let go of the past so that we can be clearer in the now. Lots of people will work with him if you believe in past lives. To clear those memories that aren't serving you, or any fears that are coming up. Sometimes things, even if they don't make sense in our childhoods, we don't really know why we have certain experiences, or we've always had fears and they're not really relevant to our childhood. It can really be a previous lifetime. It's not to dwell in that, but I've had some experiences recently that make me realize how powerful that is, that we are a soul having multiple experiences at any one time. We are old souls, many of us, listening to these videos and living this lifetime. And so we really want to pay attention just to the energy that we are, to the ways that we're responding and how we want to move forward into the new. It's a very, very powerful time to be alive where we actually get to talk about this stuff and do really deep work so that we can live our joy, that we can really be true to ourselves, that we can um, talk about, energy and angels and things like that, and use our spiritual gifts, our clairvoyance, without feeling like we're going to be harmed. It's an incredible time to be alive, and we get to do things like Facebook and YouTube where we can connect with each other. So embrace that, but honor your past and then let it go as much as you can, remembering to take care of yourself. This does feel like a pivotal week energetically, so I'm kind of looking forward to next week so that we can see where we've landed, so to speak. So be gentle with yourselves, be quiet if you need to, and most of all, love yourself. Be kind to yourself. That's really where it's all at. Take care. I'll speak to you next week. Bye bye.